specific energy we are going to discuss now. First, what is energy? This I think you already know in PUC, you might be studied this one. Just I will discuss about what is the unit of energy. Energy is measured in terms of Newton meter. Very interesting thing in fluid mechanics is Bernoulli's equation we have, right? Bernoulli's equation. This Bernoulli's equation we will call it as a total energy equation. Total energy equal to P by rho g plus V square by 2g plus Z. If you work out the units here, substitute P unit, rho, G units and V unit, G unit if you substitute, and this Z is obviously meter. Therefore, you will measure this energy in terms of meter. But we studied in PUC, that is energy in terms of Newton meter. But why it is meter? Because here one thing is that we don't tell it often. What is that? Energy per unit weight. Energy per unit weight means what? This is the energy per unit weight. Weight is measured in Newton. Then this cancel. Then your energy comes to be meter. That energy we will call it as a specific energy. And what is the definition of specific energy? Specific energy is the energy per unit weight. Then obviously what is the unit of your specific energy? Meter. Right? Now, I told you that in fluid mechanics, Bernoulli's equation total energy is P by rho g plus V square by 2g plus Z. But we are discussing open channel flow. Therefore, pressure will not be there. Only velocity means it is a gravitational flow. Therefore, this term is gone. Then the second here, what is the total energy in open channel flow? What is the total energy in open channel flow? Then your total energy or specific energy is V square by 2g plus Z is your specific energy equation or total energy equation or energy per unit weight equation. What is the unit? Meter. Right? If you want particularly definition, you can say the specific energy of a flowing liquid is defined as energy per unit weight of the liquid with respect to bottom of the channel. Bottom of the channel. Why it is considered with respect to bottom of the channel? That we need to discuss. This diagram is very important. This is a bed of the channel. Now, I will consider water surface like this. Be here. Very important. Now, I drawn water surface parallel to the channel, bottom of the channel. Water surface I have drawn parallel to the bottom of the channel. Careful. Be careful. Means depth is same. Here the depth how much is there and here the depth how much is there. Both I kept the same. Means indirectly I am going to tell you that it is a uniform flow. It is a uniform flow. Okay, indirectly I am going to tell because the water surface is parallel to the bed surface. Now, if it is uniform flow, then the variation in the energy won't appear. See, this is your E and this is your E, and E equation you already know, that is your V square by 2g plus Z. Then Z is what? Depth. Here also Z, here also Z. That's same. Then velocity is here and here. Both velocity is same because cross-sectional area is same, discharge is same. Therefore, specific energy variation will not come. If the specific energy variation is not taking place, then why to study specific energy? Therefore, specific energy chapter we have to study in non-uniform flow. Non-uniform flow means what? The depth must change. The surface water must change. See here, gradually or rapidly, I don't know, the depth is decreasing. The depth is decreasing. Then if I consider bottom as a datum, nice, no? Bottom as a datum. Why bottom is considered as datum? That is left to you because datum means some reference line, and if you want to your reference as a bottom of the channel, then what is the wrong in that? Therefore, I will consider bottom of the channel as a datum. Then if it is a datum, then this I will consider H2. H1 why not? I will tell you later. This I will call H2 and this I will call H1. H1 is a smaller and H2 is a bigger. Any doubts? No doubts. Now, means specific energy we are discussing here means we are discussing non-uniform flow. Make a note. Okay, now this is a specific energy diagram. Then what is the equation? That you already know. Once again I will write it. E is equal to V square by 2G plus H I will write. H is a common one. If you want at this section, then you write V1 square divided by 2G plus H1. Then if you want here, you write it V2 square divided by 2G plus H2. Common equation energy. Right? This specific energy I will express in terms of depth. One thing. Before that one, I would like to introduce you a term here. One new term here. You already know what is discharge. Discharge is amount of water collected per second. That is your meter cube per second. But usually sometimes a river, if you consider river, the width of the river is very vast. Then every time if you calculate discharge considering the entire cross section, that becomes very hectic. Therefore, I am going to introduce one term, that is a small q. Small q means this is a discharge per unit width. Discharge per unit width. If your width is this much, then I am interested in only 1 meter discharge per unit width. This I will calculate and I will multiply that one to this one. Task become easier. Therefore, this Q is Q by B. Always. In your examination, they may ask two questions from now. They can ask what is the discharge. Then you need to calculate capital Q. If they ask what is the discharge per unit width, then you need to calculate small q. Okay, now specific energy in terms of depth. Can we write this one? Usually, what is specific energy? E equal to V square by 2G plus H. It is already in terms of H. We will see. V equal to A into V. A into V. Then, Q equal to A into V. Then V is equal to Q divided by A. Then V square is equal to Q square divided by A square. Right? Then I will write E is equal to Q square divided by 2A square G plus H. This is a very interesting equation. This is a very interesting equation. Then it will give you a specific energy. Now here, why I wrote this in this way? Why not here only I would have stopped, no? And why I make it complicated this way? Because in this equation, if you see, the first term contains Q, that is constant, G, gravity, that is also constant, 2 is constant. Then area is varying. Area is varying means area is depending on what all things? Area is depending on the geometry, but very interestingly, area is depending on H. Area is depending on H. Means I am getting a specific energy equation, something like a K divided by H square. What is this K? K means all constant put together, K divided by H square plus H I am getting. See, this is the expression of specific energy in terms of H. Interesting, na? Specific energy in terms of H. Right? Now we'll go ahead. That express a specific curve. Okay, we need to write the specific curve. Before that one, we will again write E is equal to V square divided by 2G plus H. Okay, or now we are what we derived. E is equal to K divided by H square plus H. Okay, from this what I can tell is this is a velocity, means I can call it as a kinetic energy. That I can call it as a kinetic energy, and this height means this is a potential energy. Means what is the total energy? Total energy is kinetic energy plus potential energy. Kinetic energy plus potential energy. Now, for my understanding, I can write it E is equal to E1 plus E2. Am I right? Okay, no problem. Then what is your E1? E1 nothing but kinetic energy. Nothing but K divided by H square. Then what is A2? E2 means potential energy, nothing but H. Then if I draw a curve here, the first equation, if I draw a curve for kinetic energy, then 1 by H square is there, means it will be decreasing, because H increases, kinetic energy decreases. Therefore, I will get a curve something like this. Okay, this curve I will call it as a kinetic energy curve. Okay, then the second one is a H increases, potential energy increases. How it is increasing? It is increasing linearly and 45 degree. Then this I will call it as a curve for potential energy. Okay, now if I draw a curve for the total energy, that is potential kinetic energy plus potential energy, then how it might look? Then it will definitely look like this. Am I bluffing you people? They saying that it will come like that, like this, and if I add like this, no? I will do one magic for you people. I will consider random value for H, and I will make one Excel sheet, and after that in Excel sheet I will draw the graph. Then Excel will, whether that Excel will give such graph or not, that we will check it. Right? See here, we will do a magic that we will get a specific energy. Now whatever I told you there, it will come like that, like this, but exactly we'll ask this Excel whether it will give it or not. We'll see. Now see, this is a depth. I considered depth of water from 0.1 meter to 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, like that. I increased that, and 2.8 depth I got. Right? Then kinetic energy formula is what? Kinetic energy is K divided by H square. That I have wrote here a formula in Excel. Then potential energy is what? The potential energy is whatever that depth is there, the same thing will come in the potential energy. Then total energy is, I have added this cell and this cell, and I got this cell. Now blindly I am going to draw a curve in front of you people. Look at here. Look at here. Select data, add. Then here I consider x-axis. See here, what is our x-axis of the specific energy curve? X-axis of the specific energy curve, if I am drawing the kinetic energy, then this is the kinetic energy is my x-axis. Now x-axis, enter. Then come to y-axis. Here it is written y values. Then what is the y value in our specific energy curve? Depth is our y value. Look at here, this is a depth. Then see the magic. When I say okay to this one and say okay, then look at your curve, how it is. This is your kinetic energy curve, which I already drawn there. Right? Now we'll see how potential energy curve look like. Then select data, then add. X axis I want, x axis is potential energy, and y axis is depth. Y axis is again depth. Enter. Look at here. See, I got potential energy, a straight line passing like this. Understood? Now I got a potential energy. We will add them. That kinetic energy and potential energy we will add, and we will get a total energy, and we'll draw a curve for total energy. Select data, add. X axis I am taking it as a total energy, that is your specific energy, and y axis I am going to take depth. Enter. See the magic here. You got this green line. This green line is your specific energy curve. You can look at this point, it came like this and it went back. It does not come beyond that one. That is very interesting thing in specific energy. Then we'll go ahead with that lecture. Thank you. From that Excel, you came to know that that graph and this graph is somewhat equal. Means you people are okay with me that I can go ahead with this curve, and this curve I can call as a specific energy curve. Specific energy curve. Okay. And features of specific energy curve, if you read, if you understand the specific energy curve, there are many things which will come out. There are many interesting things which will come out. The first very interesting thing I would like to tell you is that this point. Look at here. If I draw something, if I note down what is the energy, then this energy is a E here, and before this one, there is no point of that red color. Red color has decreased like this, and it is reached this point, and after that again increased. Means I can say that this is a E minimum. No? This is a minimum specific energy. Below that, no, there is no energy. Okay, then how to get that minimum specific energy? Minimum specific energy. Then at a particular point, I may get here that I consider a condition that is a critical condition. That is condition is called as a critical. Means the depth at which the energy is minimum. That is a critical depth. That is a critical depth. How to get a critical depth equation now? Differentiate energy with respect to H and equal to 0. Then you will get a critical depth condition. Then what is the energy equation? Energy is equal to Q square divided by 2GA square plus H. Now, in this case, what is area? Area, of course, depending on H, but area we have a different formulas. For rectangle, we have something different. For trapezoidal is there. For triangle, for circular, a difference are there. Therefore, for your understanding purpose, I will make rectangle one. Okay, na? Then what is the area equal to? Area equal to B into H for rectangle. Then I will write this one. E is equal to Q square divided by 2G B square H square plus H. Then you can write it like a Q square by B square. You can write a small Q square divided by 2G into H square plus H. Okay, then this is your E. Then this I want to differentiate and equate to 0. Then dE, therefore dE by dH is equal to Q square by 2G into minus 2 divided by H cube plus 1, H equal to 1 equal to 0. Then you will get a condition 2 to cancel. Then Q square by GH cube is equal to 1. Okay? Then I can write here Q square by G to the power 1 by 3 is your critical height. That is your critical height. Critical depth. Critical depth is equal to what? Q square by G 1 by 3. Okay. Don't worry. No need to remember this equation. If it is asked for derivation, then you do. Okay. Otherwise, I am going to give you one very important equation that will give you, that will help you in all the way for all the that what your sections, cross sections. Okay, na? But this HC equal to Q square by G whole to the power 1 by 3 is only for rectangle. And why to waste our memory to remember only for rectangle? Because we have 4 others, no? Like that. Then what is the velocity? Critical velocity. Okay. Now we will remember Froude here. We will remember Froude, the scientist. Okay, Froude says that critical condition means this, that is Fr equal to 1. That I explained in a classification, but I did not elaborate this one. Just now I am telling you that Fr equal to 1 is the condition for critical. Right up. Now, what is Froude's number then? In previous models we discussed, Froude's number is nothing but V divided by square root of GL. Then what is this L? L is a characteristic length. According to Froude, he says that characteristic length. Then we didn't understand what is characteristic length. As of now, I am telling you. No, we did not understand what is characteristic length. Then we asked Froude, then what is a characteristic length? Then he said that don't worry, in open channel flow, you consider it as a hydraulic mean depth. Hydraulic mean depth means what? A by T. Means your Froude number becomes, Froude equation becomes V divided by square root of GD. This is your Froude equation. Okay. For critical condition, what is saying? Fr equal to 1. Then critical velocity, can I get it from this? Yes, you can get it. See, Fr equal to 1, if I substitute, then I will get V is equal to square root of GD. This is not simple V, this is a critical velocity over. Okay. Now, what is for rectangle? Critical velocity for rectangle, critical velocity for triangle, critical for trapezoidal, critical for your circular. How to deal with that? Take D is equal to A by T. Then you substitute this A of that corresponding cross section T, you substitute, you will get a square root of QD. Then we see equation, you will get it. Any doubts? No doubts. Now Froude's number, you got it now? Froude's number for critical section is how much? Fr is equal to 1. A very interesting, again we will go to the specific energy curve, and that one we will discuss still more, see that curve, and you will get still more very interesting points that I am going to tell you now. See here, first when I started this specific energy, I drawn one bed slope like this, and after that I drawn one non-uniform flow. I told you that this I will call it as a H2, and this we will call it as a H1. Correct? Then after that we drawn a specific energy curve. We drawn specific energy curve. How specific energy curve look? Like this it was looking like. Means here I told you that one interesting point we got, that is your this point, and this point is your critical depth, and that energy is minimum energy. Then how to get a specific energy minimum, or how to get a critical depth, how to get a critical velocity? Nothing to worry, just you salute to Froude number, say that Froude number is equal to 1, you substitute, and in this equation substitute everything, you will get the critical conditions. Okay na? But now we are discussing about alternate depths. Alternate depths means we need to think about H2 and H1. Okay. Now if I take one random point here and one single energy is there, for a particular single energy I am getting two depths. For a particular single energy I am getting two depth. This depth is a bigger H2, right? This is your H2 depth, and this depth is H1 depth. Where is your HC? HC is in between H1 and H2. Correct? Means in this diagram, may I mark here? Yes, I can mark. This I will call it as a critical. Now, whenever you deal with the open channel flow, the energy must be minimum. That you should know. Means the flow must be critical. Flow must be critical. Now, energy must be minimum means it's very complicated. Energy must be minimum means it's very complicated. How? For example, if your water, see this is your one channel, and if you are making a water to flow with this much of height, depth, then obviously the energy consumed will be something E, you consider. That energy consumed is E. Then you want to reduce that energy consumption. To reduce the energy consumption, you will reduce the depth, correct? Reduce the depth, reduce the depth, reduce the depth. Means if you reduce the depth, then it will come. Energy is reducing. Okay. Then after that, if you again reduce the depth, then your energy starts increasing. Understood? Means here we are getting one particular energy at a two different depth. One lowest depth, the energy consumption is that much only. For the highest depth is also that much only. Therefore, these two depths we are calling them as a alternate depths. Alternate depth for a particular energy. Then alternate depth you got, then you will get velocities also. For example, at H2 there might be V2 velocity is moving, and at H1 V1 velocity might be moving. Then at HC obviously VC velocity will move. right? This is a critical velocity, critical depth. This is a velocity at h2 and this is a velocity at h1. Now use your common sense and tell me, or use a equation and tell me, that is q equal to a into v and v equal to q by a, and a is a function of h. As a h increases, velocity what happens? Look at it. As h increases, velocity decreases. Means this v2 is a small velocity, compared to v1, because here h1 is a smaller than v is a greater one. Means I can write here v1 is greater than v2. Correct? But what about VC? Where it will come? Because HC is in between H2 and H1, therefore VC will be in between V2 and V1. Then I will get this condition. Okay, this is your V2 is a small velocity. Look at here, because high depth. V1 is a high velocity, small depth, and VC is a critical one. Right? Now, based on these, means a smaller depth, I will draw here. This is a smaller depth h1, this is a critical depth hc, and this is a maximum depth h2. Now look at here, vc you will get it in hc. Here f round number equal to 1. Critical condition. Then the flow in this condition is called as critical flow. Critical flow. No doubt, sir. Now, if I increase the h, then velocity will decrease. Decreases what? Decreases compared to critical. Then velocity will decreases compared to critical. Then this decreased velocity means what? Slowly it is moving. Slowly it is moving means I can call it as a streaming velocity. Streaming velocity. Or I can call it as a subcritical flow. Subcritical flow. Why? Critical से कम है, therefore subcritical flow. And if I decrease the height, depth, then it has to maintain constant discharge, therefore it will increases its velocity. Velocity increased with respect to what? Increased with respect to this critical velocity. Then here the velocity increased, therefore I will call it as a shooting velocity. Shooting velocity. Or I can call this one as a supercritical flow. Supercritical flow. Right? You got 3 types of flow here. Now we discussed many things, right? Many equations I wrote, many things, many conditions I told. And even after this one, you will be having your triangular section, trapezoidal section, circular, rectangle, many will be there. Therefore, if you are thinking that this is a very big chapter, then I say no. This is not big chapter at all. Specific energy concept is somewhat very hard to digest. If you tell like this, no. It is very easiest chapter. How? That I am going to explain here in this slide. See here, you just think like critical condition means what? Fr equal to 1. Correct? Fr equal to what? V divided by root GD. D equal to what? A by T. Then Fr equal to 1, I will substitute. Then I will get a 2 root GD is equal to V. Then GD is equal to V squared. Then G into A by T. Q is what? Q square divided by A square. Then ultimate B here only. Now look at it. q squared by g is equal to aq by t over. Rest in peace. Entire thing is over. Why? Why I told you rest in peace? Because this is the only condition which will explain the entire chapter. The entire chapter this will explain. See, this will explain you a critical condition, right? Because fr equal to 1 you considered. Okay. In this equation, however you can manage and calculate v na velocity na, then that velocity become vc na. In this equation substitute however you manage and calculate h, then you will get a critical height, right? Now critical height you got. Now if your rectangular section is given, then corresponding area you write, corresponding t you will write. If a trapezoidal is given, circular given, triangular given, then corresponding area and corresponding t if you write, then you will get the entire thing. Right? Nothing to worry about that. Just for if you are preparing for exam and all, then remember only this equation and go. But your mathematics should be good. And whatever the data is given, no, just substitute in this equation, and whatever they ask, no, they will get, you will get it. Okay, now further I will make it like further from here I will tell you square will make fr square equal to what? V square by gd. Fr square is 1 na? Therefore 1 is equal to V square by gd. Don't bring this gd that side, okay? Purposely don't bring this gd that side. Then 1 must be equal to q square divided by a square into g, then a by t I will write t, then I will get 1 is equal, purposely don't make this side, q square t divided by g a cube, right? This is also ultimate equation. This is also ultimate equation. Now this obviously represents a critical condition, and this is also critical condition, correct? If your answer is valid, now consider this one. I will give you one more equation for Froude's number, that is fr equal to v by root gd, right? Now if I make fr square, then what I will get? Fr square is equal to v square by gd. Then fr square is equal to v square by means q square by a square. This is a by t. Therefore, simplifying all, q square t divided by a cube g. A cube g. I told you that here we are going to make something very interesting. Huh? That interesting is here. That is, don't think this one. The interesting is here. A cube by t is equal to q square by g. For critical condition. For critical condition. Fr is equal to v by root gd, where d equal to a by t, for all condition. For all condition. Okay. Now, further, if you want, fr is equal to q square t by g a cube for all condition. Now, the problem, whichever the problem they make you, however they alter that problem, but you should be aware of these three equations. Okay, if you are okay with this one, Nothing to worry about that. Right? Further, I will make a few things easier for you people, like how to play with the cross section. I am going to tell you now. See here, FR equal to V by root GD, D equal to A by T. For rectangle, BH by B, then H, D is equal to H. Therefore, V divided by root G into H. This is FR. Then FR equal to 1 means critical, means V square equal to GH, that is over. This is your critical. Then discharge you can calculate later. Then after that, if you want energy, then energy equal to V square by 2G plus H. Then for critical, if you want, then V means what? Critical, no? Critical, it is HC. Then this is G into HC by 2G plus HC. Therefore, GG cancel. H by 2 plus H, 3 by 2 H. C is your E. Wow. Now see, energy is equal to, critical energy is equal to 3 by 2 times Hc. What is this critical energy means what? Minimum energy. Minimum energy for rectangular channel is 3 by 2 Hc. Like that, can you calculate minimum energy for triangular section? For triangular section, look at it. A is equal to BH, A is equal to NH square. Top width T is equal to 2NH. To NH. Then D is equal to A by T. A is equal to NH square divided by 2NH. N cancel, 1H cancel. H by 2. D is equal to H by 2. Then your FR is equal to 1. V by root G D. Then FR equal to 1, critical condition. V square equal to G D. V square equal to G H by 2. GH by 2. Right? Then this is becomes VC for this one triangle. Now energy minimum is equal to V square by 2G plus H. V square means GH by 2 by 2G plus H. Therefore this is GG cancel, H by 4 plus H. Therefore 5 by 4 H is your E minimum. See how easily I am getting now. Thank you very much. In the next class, we will solve many problems.